Welcome back to the First 50, Stage 08, Lesson 4, and today we're tackling a classic production nightmare. Picture this. Sarah pushes new code, the deploy script crashes, the database refuses writes, and there's that dreaded error. No space left on device. Something is full, but what? Linux has multiple partitions, root, home, var, maybe tmp or boot, and any one of them filling up brings everything down. She needs answers fast, and that's exactly what DF delivers. Disk-free, 2 letters, complete picture, totally safe to run. Here's the key insight Sarah needs. Linux isn't one big disk. It's a collection of separate file systems, each mounted at its own path and each filling up independently. Her home could be half empty while var is completely jammed, and it's that one full partition that takes everything down. That's why DF is so powerful. One command, one screen, every mounted file system listed with its size, usage, and mount point. On cloud servers especially, watch VRR log. Runaway logs are almost always the culprit. So Sarah types DF and gets a wall of numbers like 4194340. That's kilobytes. Useless when the server's on fire. The fix is one tiny flag, DF, H, for human-readable. Now she sees 40G, 1.2G, 500G, sizes her brain can actually parse, and look at her output, eyes straight to the use percent column. Devis DA1 at 97%, var at 91%, 2 red flags instantly. Above 90%, investigate. Above 95%, act now. But before Sarah acts, she needs to read every column fluently. 6 fields per row. File system is the device. Size is total capacity. Used is what's eaten. Avail is what's left. And watch out. That's not always size minus used because of reserved blocks. Use percent is your alarm bell, and mounted on tells you which folder in the tree is hurting. Her scan order? Use percent to spot it. Mounted on to locate it. Avail to gauge how much time she's got. Now, beyond the basic H, 3 flags handle the weird edge cases. DF shows inode usage, and here's the trap that bites everyone. A disk can report plenty of free space but still refuse writes because inodes, the file count budget, hit 100%. Lots of tiny files? That's your culprit. Then DFHT adds a type column so Sarah instantly sees if she's on XT4, XFS, or a TMPFS that vanishes on reboot. And DFH total gives one summary row across everything, great for capacity reports. Bonus move, pass a path like DFH var to zoom straight to one file system. So let's watch Sarah work the problem. Step 1, DFH, the high-level overview. Boom. var dev SDA2 is at 100%, avail column showing a flat 0, that's the smoking gun. Step 2, she runs df var just to confirm the read isn't stale. Step 3, the smart move, dfi to check inodes. They're sitting at 33%, totally fine. So this isn't millions of tiny files, it's a few massive ones. Which means Lesson 40's tool, DU, is exactly what she needs next to hunt down which directory is eating she var alive. Now here's the trap that bites people. Sarah got lucky, but imagine a different scenario. DFH says you've got 50 gigs free, yet every write fails with no space left on device. How? Because file systems have 2 independent limits, bytes and inodes, those fixed count metadata records, 1 per file. Pile up millions of tiny session files or cache entries, and you blow through inodes while bytes sit empty. The fix is a reflex. Always check both. DFH for bytes, DFI for inodes. Either one can sink you, especially on mail servers and cache boxes. So DF tells you which partition is screaming, but it can't fix anything on its own. That's where its 3 workflow partners come in. Do drills from the partition into the folders eating the space. That's Lesson 40, your immediate next step. Then find size pinpoints the actual giant files inside that folder. And finally, RM or truncate frees the space. Truncate S0 is the gentle one, emptying a log without breaking the process still writing to it. Partition, folder, files, gone. That's the full firefight. Now your turn, and don't worry, DF only reads, it can't break anything. Start with DFH for the human-readable overview, then scan that user-sent column and find your tightest file system. Next, run DFI to check inodes, because a disk can be full on file count even with bytes to spare. Finally, DFH/ zooms in on just your root partition. Keep that one below 80%, always. 3 commands, 10 seconds, full picture. And that's DF, locked in. But here's the thing. DF tells you which partition is full, not what's filling it. That's where Lesson 40 picks up with do disk usage by directory. You'll drill into .var, spot the 142 gig log file, and finish stage 08 strong. 5 out of 5 process and disk tools done. Then stage 09, pipes redirects the real Unix magic. See you there.